Hey tribe, how you doing? I hope you guys are doing great. So I did promise that I was going to talk about the art of creation. This is a very exciting topic. It's part of the new material that we're putting together, and I'm very excited to share this with you. I'm excited to, if you like, give you my perspective on how I understand the art of creation. And as we speak of it, one of the things that mystifies me is that as people, we have been trained or we have convinced ourselves that when we speak about creation, we speak of it as apart from us. Creation is who we are. Creation is our primary reason for existing. It's, in fact, if you look very carefully or you understand it on a deeper level, it's the only reason we exist, to create. The minute we stop creating, then unfortunately there's no reason to exist. I know. It's a little deeper than you wanted it to be, maybe for some of you, but this is it. This is how you need to start sort of understanding what is it that I'm here to do? What's your purpose? What is creation? For many scholars, the teachings are limited to perhaps talking about how the world was created. Some are scientists that talk about the Big Bang. As people of faith, we talk about God, God's creation. But what's really bizarre is that we almost are convinced that we're separate from that. We're not. Now, I talk about it from a position of thoughts. Thoughts. Human beings are always thinking. We're always thinking. And for most people, when you ask them, what is it that we think about? It's millions and millions of thoughts flying around from different folks. And all of those thoughts are creating a charge, a collective charge in most cases. And for some people, they think things that are probably not going to be in concert with other people's thoughts. So therefore, their thoughts are not aligned or they're not connecting to the pool of thoughts that fly around in our universe. And again, just stay with me. This is very important stuff. So thoughts, we talk about thoughts, and then we talk about feelings. And then we talk about words. And then we talk about actions. So it is thought, it's felt. All right? And then when you feel something, in most cases we speak of it or we jump right in and we take action without saying anything. But there's two types of speeches, and I want you to capture this. There's audible speech, and there's that silent speech, that internal conversation, because everything you think about, you speak about. Whether you speak about to the third party or, if you like, another recipient other than yourself, or whether you speak about it by yourself, you're going to speak about it. Thoughts are translated into speech, silent or audible speech. So I relate this back to some of the writings I put together yesterday. For some of you, yesterday I wrote something on some of the pages, and some of you may have seen it, and some of you may not have received it. So I'm ready to share that as well. So one of the things I spoke of, or one of the things I'm very passionate about, sort of understanding and making sure that we start to develop a conversation around this, is the idea of words. What's the meaning of words? So I relate that to in the beginning, there was one with the Word, and the one with the Word was God, and truly God was the Word. God is creation. So if God is the Word is creation. And God formed you out of everything else that was created. God chose to form man in his own image, in his likeness. He said, let us make one in our own image. And that was man. And he was able to breathe his spirit into you, into the avatar that he formed. And boom, there we are. We have life. Now, from that perspective, you need to understand everything else is subjected to you as a person. We were born with dominion over the earth. We are born with dominion over everything that exists, the waters, the hills, the mountains, the ground that we stand on. We have dominion over trees. We have dominion over all types of animals, everything that exists. Which means we have the potential, and one of the things you have to understand as a human being, we have the potential, therefore the ability to create our own world. Fact. You can look at it from a spiritual perspective, or from a quantum physics perspective, a scientific perspective. Lots of different, ideologies out there. People talk about words are numerical. So therefore, words, they're formulas, if you like. They're equations that are able to, if you like, produce something. Because an equation usually has an endpoint, which is the answer. What's the outcome? 1 + 1 is 2. So there's so many different ways of looking at it. So simply put, everything that you send out there into the universe carries energy. It carries power. It carries the potential to create. The key word is potential. It doesn't always create, because gosh, if everything we spoke of came to fruition, everything we spoke of manifested, wow, we would have lions running on the streets. We would have all kinds of different things. So this is the beauty. The beauty is that for something to manifest in your life, one is it starts as a thought. You think about it. Some things are imagined. In fact, I could almost say that everything that we think about is imagined. And it's reference to the past or reference to the future. Please understand that. The moment that we live in right now, this very moment, humans are thinking about what happened and what could happen. It takes mastery, it takes understanding to dwell in the moment and to live in the moment, to have life in the moment, to think things in the moment, because the moment is already here. So we have to accept it as it is, and then we have to start to imagine the contrast that we want to create. In other words, what do you want it to look like? You know what it looks like. You know what it was, which is really, again, not that important. Because I'm not one of those people that dwells in the past. Oh my gosh, I could have done this and I could, it's gone. You can draw a couple of lessons, but really the focus is you are here right now. How does it feel right now? Now, let's start from a very basic premise of feeling. We spoke of I think of something, then I feel something. So let's talk about feeling. So does it feel good or does it feel bad? Because man's natural state, our status quo, as we were pre-programmed and created to experience good in the world. All the other disruptors in the world are acting or are working against your natural state of being, which is that of feeling good. So the question then is, what I'm experiencing right now feels really good, right? There's a difference between a sensation of something that feels good or a spiritual, if you like, disruption, or perhaps a feeling that's so deep in your heart that says, I know this feels good to eat, but deep down something is saying you shouldn't. I know this feels good to touch, but deep down you're saying, but you shouldn't. So I'm talking about listening intuitively to your inner man and saying, am I aligned with nature's default state, which is I feel great. Feeling great is literally guilt-free. Feeling great is you just feel elation. It's just you feel so light and excited and really happy. So is that thing you're thinking about, feeling about, speaking about, and therefore about to act upon, is it aligned with your natural state of being, which is that inherent feeling of goodness? God is good. The feeling of godness. Yes. Understand that. Understand that. Go there. Understand that. You see, most folks would have you paralyzed and fearful of, oh, that's controversial. And how can you go that deep? And how can you feel so much, that's probably contrary to what they're used to? Oh, well, that stuff is, sort of up in the air and, whatever. It's really very simple. We're co-creators with God. We're creation in motion. We ourselves are a creation. And every cell in your body is working to create, a renewed version of yourself every single day. Your body is intelligent. It's really intricate. It understands you have, trillions of cells that understand each other's work, and they memorize everything that each one of them is doing. Do you understand that this is the intricacy of how we are? So if you have that type of depth and, magnitude, and you're created in such a magnificent way, how can you not create physical things that are beautiful, that are fulfilling, that give you elation and ecstasy, that give you a feeling of purpose? What limits us is that we have been coached. We have been coached by folks, by situations, by circumstances to feel that we're going to fail at something, or to feel that we're not loved because of something, to feel that we're inadequate because of something, to feel like everything is just about to collapse. So you get trained throughout this process, and you pick up these vibes or these vibrations from your inner circle, your so-called power base, where you get your juice, your energy, your family, your friends, people that are close to you. You've had help. They've helped you get to a point where you are in your life. So therefore, anything that is opposed to that feels foreign to you. And if you open your mouth and you say, I'm excited, I'm going to build a business, I'm going to have 500 people working for me, I'm going to have 15 companies. I'm building a conglomerate. I'm going to a different country to start a new life. I want to buy that. I want to invest in that. They look at you and they say, well, let's get real. And unfortunately, you drop, all senses of what you had intended to do, and whatever was deposited in you in the spirit is now being removed from you in the physical, and you end up vacant, going back to the drawing board saying, what do I want? Because when I presented this, the people who love and care for me or about me, my power base disempowered me. They made me feel like I was talking gibberish. They made me feel like I was removed from reality. Well, I have good news for you. Go ahead. Think those thoughts. But please, as you do it alone. Keep them to yourself. Share only the goals that you want people to sort of, ponder on and laugh about. They don't really mean everything to you. Because most people don't understand when you're in this state of understanding yourself and understanding the power that you possess. It scares them. It scares them. So I want you to stop and think and understand, like I said, it's good news. It's good news. You can do all of it. You can do any of it. You can achieve any of it. You can do everything. But it starts with redefining your thought process. The easiest way to monitor your thought process is to monitor how you feel when you think of certain things. So before you speak of them, and therefore declare and decree them, therefore announce them to the world, therefore give them, if you like, energy, therefore as you repeatedly speak of them, give them form. Before you do that, ask yourself the question, how does that feel? How does it feel? Does it feel good? Does it feel good? Or does it feel like I'm going against my natural state of being, which is that of goodness? So when you speak of things, when we talk about words, so we talked about, think of something, feel about it, and if it feels good, then proceed. And then as you speak of it, ask yourself the question, when you speak of things, when you start to utter your words, ask yourself the question, do I feel empowered by what I'm saying? If what you're saying disempowers you, if what you're saying makes you feel, a sense of, negativity and frustration, then say to yourself, hey, wrong direction, change course. And as you say change course, guess what? You start laughing at yourself. You say, where am I going? You're going into a cul-de-sac. You're going over a cliff. You're going into some place that you're not supposed to be headed to. So here's the thing. Monitor your feelings, because there's only two of them. Thoughts are many. You can have over 50, 60, 70,000 thoughts in a day for an adult. That's a lot of things to process. But guess what? The good news is that you only have two feelings to monitor. You have multitudes of emotions, but you have two feelings to monitor. Good or bad. Guilt, bad. Right? Kindness, good. Jealousy, bad. Envy, bad. If you're excited for somebody else, great feeling, right? A feeling of generosity where you go, I just want to give, that's great. A feeling of accomplishment, a feeling of servanthood, a feeling of, just really wanting to just generate joy in other people's lives and in your own life, guess what? You're on the right track. Because money loves happiness. Money hates misery. Let me tell you that now. Money loves happiness. Money hates misery. Because it doesn't operate in misery. It's negative energy. Positive energy is the incubation that you have to, if you like, build to be able to generate the wealth, the money, the happiness, the joy that you want to create in your life. So words are important. Watch what you're saying. What are you saying? What are you creating? What are you saying? What are you creating? Speech starts the process of creation. You've said it, people have reacted to it. And if they reacted in a certain way, especially if it's negative, if you get a negative reaction, then you do more of it. Why? Because when people say, why are you doing that? Then you start saying, why not? And then they start saying, but it's wrong. And then you spend every waking moment pondering about how not to do it or why they're saying what they're saying. So you're trapped and unfortunately paralyzed in that state where you cannot move because you're thinking about the adversity, the disadvantages that you hold right now because of what you said. You're remorseful, you're guilty, you know, all of these things, they disempower you. So before you announce it to the world, does it empower you? Is it aligned to a feeling of goodness, feeling of, positivity? Does it resonate with everybody? Does it add value to other people, to yourself? You see, words have a currency. Words have credibility. They have a trigger. They're catalysts. Words can cause war. Words can also produce a child. Words. Yes, I'm not mixing my words. They can produce a child. You met her, you met him, you talked. You know the rest. Words. Words can build cities. Let's go build a city. It was just a statement. Let's go build a theme park that everybody will come to from all over the world to play. It was just something that somebody thought about. They felt great about it. They uttered it. Now we have Disney World. Let's build a machine that can do everything, that can write text, that can send text in a fraction of a second, that can be wired into some kind of a, technology over the web, which we didn't even understand what the web is. But now we have, this incredible, all things internet, all things global village. Those were words, those were thoughts that were thought about and felt about, and then they were pronounced. And over the years, everybody keeps talking about them. Eventually you get to a belief system where you say, this can happen. And the world has this incredible intelligence that God put in it. Then it will go in and organize things for you as you want them to be. We all we fall short. Every single one of us. We go through moments where we question ourselves. Some of the greatest that the richest people, the most powerful, the best philosophers, they have experienced moments where they felt they were failing. Things were not working out. But they always again. Means again. Member themselves to this principle of I am a creator. I create my own life with my thoughts, with my feelings, with my words, and then lastly, your actions. The body is a slave to the triggers that we have. I thought about it, I felt it, I said it, I did it. Thought about it, felt it, said it, did it. You may have said it quietly to yourself. Every thought that you think of, you speak of. Everything. Because you are speaking to yourself or you're speaking to others and yourself at the same time. Because you are also a recipient of your speech. So watch your language. Watch your language. I said yesterday, focus on good feeling thoughts. Because God is good all the time. So good is from God. Good is of God. God is good. Think very carefully about what you're about to say. Because just because you think it doesn't mean you have to say it, because guess what? We have a gift as humans to process our thoughts, to stop ourselves in our tracks and say, hold on, don't say that. Because you've already, you think it and you report it to yourself. And then when you report it to yourself, those neurons, those signals, those impulses will go in and create a feeling in your heart that says, this don't feel good. But because we have opposing forces within us, good and bad, evil and good, God and devil, we have all of those things opposing in us. In some cases, we'll listen to the evil spirit. In some cases, we listen to the good spirit. And whichever one you listen to, then unfortunately translates the feeling that allows you to speak about it. And then once you speak about it, you start to act, or your atmosphere around you starts to compose itself to mirror what you're speaking of. That's how we make people angry. That's how we make people really excited. That's why we make people cry. That's why we make people laugh. Comedians use words to make a fortune, to make a living. So your words are powerful, but not to the extent to which most people understand it. Your words are your world. You are creating as you speak, because the speech that comes out of you is a representation of your thoughts. Those thoughts that started as just a small little scratch in your brain have now gone on to become a massive thing that manifests in the world. And people say, how did she create that? How did he create that? So pay attention to your thoughts as you monitor them or amplify them through your feeling funnel, and then catch yourself. Pause before you speak. And as you speak, recognize that you're creating an environment, an atmosphere that creates something that's manifested for all to see in the world, which is what we call your life. So decide what you want to be and only speak of that. You see, it's very important that you understand the power of blind faith. Those who seek to see it first before they experience it may never experience it. Those who seek to experience it, to be able to see it, will experience it. And it sounds gibberish. It sounds like, so let me explain. When you close your eyes and you visualize yourself in a place that you've never been before, and you start smiling with your eyes closed, and tears are running all over your face, and you're breathing so calmly, and you see yourself, just walking on the beach somewhere in Miami, You could smell the seafood. You could hear the samba, the sound of music. You could hear the whistling, the whispers from lovers just lying, beside you by the beach. And, you can see all of these things. You can experience the sun as it just kisses your skin. And you're saying, wow, this is so beautiful. Have you been there? You haven't, but you have experienced it. Therefore, you're going to see it. Believing will lead you to see it. Conversely, those who say, when I see it, then I will experience it. They're forever waiting. It's almost like you're like a dumping ground of everything, all thoughts that are neglected, all spirits that have no home. They just go, there's a no man's land. There's a person there that has nothing to think about. They don't want to visualize their own lives. So let's just, let's go and camp there, because, that person has absolutely no direction. So therefore, that's where we're supposed to go, because we have no home to. The lost house the lost, and then guess what? You have lost spirits in you, and you're living a life that seems to be surrounded by, the I'm going nowhereville. That's your thing. So words. So I started the conversation with think freely, think. But make sure you're thinking great thoughts, big thoughts. Just spend more time focusing on those things in the moment, and don't let where you are define who you are. Don't let where you come from define who you are. Don't let what you're going through define who you are. Do not let those that surround you define who you are. Do not let the things that happen to you surround, before you were surrounded by this particular environment. Don't let those things define who you are. It's a blank canvas today. You start today, you redefine yourself, or you reintroduce yourself to yourself. You see, this is important. You have to disconnect in order to reconnect. You've done it before when you don't have enough reception on your phone and you say, what's going on? You switch off your phone to airplane mode, and then you switch it back on. Or, your phone screen has frozen. You switch it off and you switch it on. So you're disconnecting to reconnect. That's life. To be continued, guys. Thank you very much for listening. Have a blessed, blessed day.